The WEF says 92 million jobs are going extinct. That's a scary, scary headline. But if you have some context and if you have a flexible, adaptable approach to your career, there's a huge opportunity. Let me show you how. I never really thought jobs were guaranteed. Maybe I'm weird like that, but it never made sense to me that you could just show up, do your thing, and expect someone to keep paying you forever. But even with that mindset, I was still shocked at how fast it can happen when it happened to me. I got fired in the middle of a meeting. One minute I'm sitting there discussing quarterly strategy. The next minute I realize I'm watching my own termination unfold in real time. That night I was walking the streets of Seattle in the dark, mind racing between panic and planning mode. I need a job, but can I even get one? What do I tell my kids and my wife? Luckily, within 30 days of getting fired, I had pivoted into a full-time, highly paid consulting role. Not because I was smarter than anyone else, but because I was ready. And more importantly, while I didn't expect it so quickly, I knew things like this can happen to me and to you. Here's the reality no one wants to talk about. According to the World Economic Forum's latest Future Jobs Report, 92 million jobs are expected to be displaced by 2030. But here's what's even more staggering. They're also predicting 170 million new jobs will be created. That means we're looking at a 22% churn rate in the entire global workforce. 1 in 5 jobs are either disappearing or being completely transformed. Technological change, economic uncertainty, demographic shifts, they're not coming, they're here right now. But this is nothing new. Companies grow, some die, industries become obsolete, customer needs and preferences change, and of course, technology shifts how we work. And most professionals are walking targets. They're caught in the crossfire because they don't know what to do with all this change. They believe the biggest misconception about job security out there, that if they just keep their heads down, do good work, and don't rock the boat, that they're guaranteed a job for life. But not you, because I'm going to show you what the opportunity is and where the real freedom and flexibility is amongst the coming swirl of change. So while everyone else runs around fragile and exposed to the winds of change, you have the opportunity to build something unbreakable. See, the people with unbreakable careers, they're not the number one performers with the deepest domain expertise. They're not the ones with the most impressive resumes. The unbreakable career people have something different. They have the ability to adapt and even capitalize on change. They have broad, transferable skill sets that aren't pigeonholed into one domain. They see changes coming and don't put their heads in the sand hoping it won't happen to them. Unbreakable career people have 4 things in common. First, they acknowledge the risks and don't believe they have some sovereign right to a job. Number 2, they're prepared. They have a deep, warm network. They have options to move companies. They have cash runways. Number 3, they're diversified. They have diverse skill sets, diverse interests, and yeah, they try to get diverse income opportunities. And those first 3 allow them to take risks even when everyone else is paralyzed by uncertainty, because they know deep down they will be all right. So how do you become unbreakable? Here's the mindset shift you need to make. You need to stop managing your career inside of your resume. And you need to start managing it like a business where you are the product. When you look at your resume, you see it as your identity. It's a list of all your past accomplishments, and it's a very limited view of your identity. But when you think of your career as a business and you as the product, you start to imagine possibility. You're able to lean into change more fully while not being constrained by what your company initiatives are. You can experiment and follow your interests more fully. The reality is, you are a product. You have a unique combination of attributes that can solve problems and pain points for customers. Your customer right now just happens to be the company paying you money. So here's what I did differently. When I got fired, I decided I needed to own my career, that I was the one responsible. I had to be in charge and direct it myself. I started looking at myself as a business, asking myself, how do I uniquely create value in multiple dimensions to serve clients, customers, people, human beings? I didn't put a box around my opportunity set, asking what company will hire me. Instead, I asked, how am I unique? What competitive advantage do I have? That's when I created my advantage mapping program. I created it to help me understand my own unique foundation. And once I had that clear view, I looked at the world from that viewpoint. and looked for the right options to further my career. I figured out how to consult. I leveraged my core advantages in coaching, in developing people, in getting people to believe in themselves, helping people build businesses. I was a finance major, and now I do absolutely nothing in finance. I completely changed my trajectory because instead of making decisions based on what's available to me, where's the most money, what are my friends doing, what do my parents do, I looked at myself. So, what a resume doesn't reflect is your potential, your ability to learn, to grow, to take on new challenges, to adapt, and to create. But if you think about yourself as a business, you provide a service right now to a consumer, but that consumer is your company. All right, what other consumers could you possibly serve? How could you leverage some of the changes coming in order to serve them better? What other products could you build? What other versions of your product, the product of you, could you build? What other income streams could you create using just what you have right now? Not your skills in spreadsheets or your ability to optimize an ad campaign, but your genuine curiosities, interests, and your life experiences. Because when you show up to a job, you use all of that stuff way more than your technical skills, especially as you grow and get more responsibility. So here's the opportunity. When you have a core foundation of who you are, what you want to do, and what you're great at, that's when you become super adaptable and unbreakable. And when you do that, you see there's so much more opportunity out there. Those 92 million jobs going away, it doesn't even register in your mind because you start looking at the 170 million new jobs being created. And you realize you're not competing for one of those disappearing slots. You're positioning yourself for the opportunities that most people can't even see yet. You start looking at the world in a more optimistic way, more flexible, more adaptable, more resilient. Your career becomes a discovery process. It becomes fun and it becomes a game. So if you're completely stuck and trapped in your job now with no idea what to do next, I've been there. It's a terrible place to be, and that's why I built the Freedom Accelerator Lab. Because while 92 million jobs are disappearing, 170 million new opportunities are being created for people who are ready to think differently. The question is, are you going to be one of them? If you're interested, click the link in the description below for a free clarity chat with me. Meanwhile, I talked about my concern for the future of careers in one of my older videos, and you can watch that right here next.